But what you can accept is we're going to move on to our last team of the episode. If you made it this far, thanks for being here. If you skipped ahead because of the little timestamps, how are you? Good to see you.
Fair enough.
I've called this one. Yeah, fair enough. I would too. I've called this one could be fun. We've got Atlas, we've got Houston, and we've got RSL. We've got Benny Ball, we've got top of the Western Conference, and we've got Atlas. And I don't know much about Atlas, so I can't give them anything crazy. Talk to me about where they're playing. Talk to me about who some new players are.
All right. RSL versus Atlas is at America First Field, where RSL will host. Houston versus RSL is going to be at Shell Energy Stadium in Houston. And Houston versus Atlas is also at Shell Energy Stadium in Houston. So Houston with 2 home games, RSL with 1, Atlas with 0. I think if this point, if you're not sensing the theme, I suggest you rewatch it a million times over until you get the theme. Liga MX teams are not hosting any games, but all right. Anyway, big signings. Atlas struggling to call these big signings, but I've gone for Jan Murillo from Venezuela. Came over from San Luis, so came over from another team in Liga MX. He's a forward who started every game for them so far, has 1 assist to his name. Houston, not really any big signings in winter 2024. And then RSL, Matt Crooks, obviously, because I've been told Middlesbrough is the biggest club in the world, and therefore they have gifted us the pleasure of having one of their players, and therefore Matt Crooks is obviously a massive signing and a huge coup for MLS to pick up there. Big signings for summer 2024. Atlas, again, just trying to get some names out there for those that aren't familiar with Liga MX. I'm going for Adrian Mora, who is coming from Toluca. So another guy coming over from another team in Liga MX. And Mora so far has played every minute of every game for them in the defense. No big signings so far for Houston or RSL this summer transfer window.
All right. We're going to start with Liga MX's Atlas. Currently 7th in the Apertura after a 17th place finish in the Clausura. Atlas are led by highly experienced Spaniard Beñat San Jose, who had stints in Saudi Arabia, Bolivia, and Belgium. His current 0.95 points per game with Atlas is not great, but he does hope to carry them into another strong League Cup performance. Last year, they topped the group before a wild first round loss in PKs to New England that went to 9 rounds, 10 rounds, something like that. Talk to me about who you're watching.
It's a little bit hard to pick somebody from this team. They're not exactly world beaters, but I've gone for the veteran Luis Reyes in the defense. I believe he's a left back for them. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Liga MX fans, but he has jumped around a couple of teams in Liga MX, but most of his career has been with Atlas. And he is coming off a season where he played majority of the games for Atlas. Probably not saying much. They finished 17th, not the best, but this season so far, a step in a better direction. They're 7th right now, as you had mentioned previously. He's played every minute so far, and he's got a goal to his name. Really gets a lot of goal contributions. He has 25 across his career so far. So we'll be looking to see how his experience can translate over into this tournament. And considering how much he gets involved in the attack, I want to see what attacking returns he can have in the cup.
I also went defense here because this team doesn't score a lot of goals. They've in their last 20 games, they've got 25 goals. I mean, not great, right? They're going to be strong in the back, and it's time to give some more goalkeeper love. I'm talking about Jose Hernandez. And I'm talking about him because he needs to step it up a little bit. Small sample size so far, but he is underperforming. He's got a minus 0.5 PSXG plus minus. It puts him in the bottom half of League MX. He's going to have a ton of attacking firepower in front of him through RSL and Houston that he is going to need to be on his A game for Atlas to have a chance. Let's go to... Nah, I can't make a PSXG plus minus transition. Let's go talk about Benny Ball. I mean, yeah, we probably could, right? Benny Ball, what's Benny Ball's PSXG plus minus when he plays a field player in goal? I mean, he's got 45 games of something like that. So Benny Ball's road to a trophy kicks off in Group H. In the second season in charge after winning the U.S. Open Cup last year, making a deep MLS playoff run, his team currently is in 8th place in the West, 4 points clear of the drop with 31 goals for and 27 goals against. He's going to look to get a better result than last year's League's Cup. They got knocked out in the round of 16 to Charlotte. Who are you watching?
I apologize if I butcher this name, but I'm going to watch. Is it Mikael or Misael? Probably Mikael.
I thought it was just Michael.
Michael from Brazil. It's just
Brazilian
Michael.
Michael. Big Brazilian Mike, that guy Mike.
All right. I'm gonna go with Mike just for the end of this episode. We talked about him last year. I think we both had agreed that he had a really strong year last year, a really good step in the right direction. And it was hard to pick attacking players in this team because they just don't score a ton of goals. And so I wanted to shine the light on the defense. He's played a ton for them, and I think he has done a pretty good job with them so far. So keeping an eye on him for this tournament as well.
For me, I have gone with a newcomer, Ezequiel Ponce. After a big money move from Greece, he will look to fight Sebastian Ferreira for the number 9 role. And this can be a really good way to get a good start heading into a final playoff push. It is like that perfect, like he doesn't get a preseason, but now you've got at the very least 2 games, if not a couple more, to get yourself into kind of like post preseason form, for lack of a better term. Like get acquainted with the team, get used to the tactics of players, things like that. And again, I think it's a really good time. And realistically, right, if they get knocked out early or midway or whatever, now you've got 3 weeks to train like it's preseason. So definitely looking forward to see what he can give to Houston.
I don't know how I missed that one. And I must have honestly, I was just working on these notes for so long that I probably just completely glossed over their summer signings for this window. But yes, Ponce is definitely a big signing this window. They spent 9 million euros on him. So apologies for missing that.
Get him, Houston fans. He doesn't care enough about your team.
It's true. I'm a massive Benny Ball hater.
All right. It was surprising that you missed that, but let's move to the surprises of the Western Conference. Real Salt Lake, Pablo Mastroeni's side is 3rd in the West, 2 points off the top spot, game in hand to the Galaxy. 29 goals scored from this group so far, leading any team that isn't Messi FC, and a very impressive defensive showing as well, with only 31 goals against. Now, despite that, still no silverware of late, and a disappointing round of 16 exit from last year's Leagues Cup to a very emphatic 4-0 loss to the LAFC. Who are you watching? This is an interesting one.
I'm just going to go with Chicho Aranjo. I mean, he's just so fun to watch. It's hard to not pick him as a player to watch. The dude is just a goal scoring machine. Like, he was a goal scoring machine with LAFC and he left, and it was extremely sad that he left. But then he comes back with RSL. You're like, all right, well, maybe he was a benefit of the LAFC machine. They had tons of attacking players and so many were successful there. And so you ask the question, is he going to be successful with RSL? I think that question has been answered this season, to say the least. 17 goals, 5 assists already is outrageous. Like, that's insane output. This dude just does not stop scoring goals and getting involved in the goals. And he is a massive reason why this team is so successful in the West right now. And so I want to see him continue tearing it up in Leagues Cup.
Kind of sucks you're not going to be able to.
Oh, why? Is he hurt?
He's suspended. Did you not see this whole thing?
Oh, yeah. Wait, does that carry into Leagues Cup, or is that just regular season?
It's 2 regular season games, the All-Star game, and
I knew the All-Star game
Leagues Cup game 1. So he might be back.
Okay, so he'll all right, and then if they get out of the group, then he plays the rest.
Then
of
he
them,
plays
so.
on, yes, but
then I will still see him.
Will you? I think you're going to be too busy doing work to watch these games.
That might be fair.
So with Aranjo suspended for at least one of these matches,
only one game,
at least.
True.
You don't know when MLS is going to come in and be like, oh, he might knock out Benny Ball. We got to suspend one more game.
If they do that, then I get to pick a new player.
Well, because you know that MLS is scripting everything. So if they want Aranjo out, they're going to get Aranjo out. Like, that's just the way it works. But they're going to need to figure out how to score goals. And right now, it's kind of Anderson Julio seeming like he's going to be the guy to lead the line. That's usually the replacement there. As I look down the line and don't see, too many straight out and out number 9 replacements. I mean, you've got 16-year-old Axel Kai. That'd be fun to see him play. But I think it'll be Julio who comes in and fills that role a little bit, or maybe Matt Crooks as a false 9. I don't know. But anyways, Anderson Julio.
He's from Middlesbrough.
Yeah, he can do anything. I will be watching whoever plays the 9. I'm picking Anderson Julio because that's who I think it is, because I want to see how they play without him. They've been not so great without him. So that's my pick. And now I ask you, what is your pick for your predictions?
So even
But
if
you're
they
gonna
are
say
missing
something
Aranjo
dumb.
for
Whenever you take a big breath and you're like, so you about to say something.
even if they are missing Aranjo for a game, I still think RSL tops the group at first. There's still a lot of quality in this team, like Diego Luna, Carlos Gomez, and then I think Anderson Julio could do a job for a game or two, however many games he needs to be in there. Houston hasn't been the typical Houston of last season so far this year, so I think they've struggled to score goals. We don't know what Ponce is going to look like, so I can't quite like put my eggs in that basket yet. So I've got them at 2. I think they're still better than Atlas. And so then I got Atlas at 3. I just don't think they're as good as Houston and RSL, who are also getting home games in this tournament compared to Atlas. Although I guess the Houston game could be close enough to Mexico that maybe it would be somewhat of a home game for them.
So here's the deal. When you've only got 2 matches in the group, you can't drop games. When you're missing a leading scorer, it's hard to win games. And depending on who they play in goal, I am not a fan of Zach McMath. And Gavin Beavers is okay. Good, not great. Lots of injured center backs now, probably playing through injuries or so, but I know they're playing with kind of second choice center backs here. And a couple other big injuries and players who aren't really up to speed on what they're doing yet. I'm going Houston at 1. I'm going Atlas at 2. I'm going RSL at 3.
Oh man.
Yeah,
You're
because
gonna end it off on that?
I'm going to end it there because I can easily see this being a RSL disaster class because of a still undescribed suspension for their star player. Hey, listen, you know what else was crazy talk last year? Me putting Miami at first when you put them not making it out of the group. And guess what? They won the whole dang thing. So
That's because it was scripted.
listen, I know the script. That's what I'm telling you. They suspended Chicho for a reason, so that they had an excuse to say this is why RSL didn't win. But this and
Well,
it's all big brain, right? Because they're chasing LA and LA for the top of the West. So as LA and LA go deep into this tournament and risk injuries and fatigue and all this other stuff, RSL is just sitting there recuperating, getting everything ready to go. It's all big brain
whatever,
stuff.
whatever you
You gotta
say.
look through the picture and see the big one.